This is Paul Lagasse from Channel 37, and I'm very happy to say that I am with Scott Roche on the right and Zach Ricks on the left, and they are from Flying Island Press, and we are here to talk about their press, their publications, and also the state of what Scott very wonderfully called upstart publishing. So please tell me about Flying Island Press.
Zach, I'll let you take point.
Well, about a year ago, Scott and I and some other people, because we're podcasters, and we've done a lot of work with fiction and audio, we were trying to figure out ways to kind of break out of the community. You know, the podcasting fiction community is pretty tight. Everybody kind of knows each other, and everybody listens to each other's things. But there's not a lot of outreach into other people who I think would really enjoy that kind of work. And so Scott and I and some other people started getting on Google Wave and just started having a yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
While it was still hot.
Somebody had to.
And
we're the only good thing that came out of Google Wave.
Well, yeah, we'll claim that. And had this conversation that eventually said, well, you know what we need to do is we need to start our own magazine that's available for e-readers and for audio, and that way we start branching into people who want to get text as well as audio fiction, because we knew how to do the audio fiction. Mm-hmm. We found a guy who was good with coding, who actually lives pretty close to me, and just started working. And the whole thing happened over the internet. Scott and I live in completely separate areas of the country. There's at least one member of the team I still have not met in real life. Yeah, Philip.
Yep.
No, Philip and I haven't met Jeff either.
Yep.
So, you know, a significant portion of my team is somewhat unknown to me, but they're good guys, and you know, we get together on Skype. And
Skype is a beautiful thing.
Skype. Well, we hope it stays that way.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
It's being taken over by the evil empire, unfortunately.
Did you guys see the Joy of Tech cartoon about the future of Skype? What we can expect? No, it was like the 27 different versions of Skype. You know, home version and the non-sucky version.
The constant patching.
Exactly. Yeah.
My favorite picture was somebody took the Sky from Skype and the net from Microsoft.net and put it together. As Skynet is our new. Yeah, that was hilarious. So we launched. We did a soft launch at BaltCon last year. We announced and we started looking for authors. We are a paying market. And we did our first issue in on July 4th of last year. We thought that was a good, an auspicious date.
But basically, you know, coming here to BaltCon with no content and me just saying, yeah, our first issue goes out July 4th, do or die.
Yep. We set the hard date. We set the hard date at BaltCon last year. And we have put out, we will have put out 6 issues.
In June. And so it's every other month.
And so we've hit our marks, and we've been putting out 5 to 8 pieces of short fiction every other month in both EPUB and MP3 format. And it's been a lot of fun. And we are asking people to pay for fiction, which is something kind of new to the internet, I think. But you know, it's a good price, and we have a subscription model, so people can buy a year's worth of content for a reasonable rate, and delivered to your inbox when it comes out.
Yep.
You mentioned that, you know, paying for fiction is a new thing, and we're in a stage now where newspapers are considering, you know, they're beginning to experiment with paywalls for the first time, and there's a lot of mixed reaction. Journalists are thrilled, and a lot of readers are outraged. But in terms of paying for fiction, what kind of response are you getting? Are people appreciating it, amenable to it, or?
Yes. But what's been most surprising to me isn't so much the reaction for the paying of fiction. A lot of writers do expect to be paid, and that's fair because they're doing this as a profession. They want to be able to do this to support their families, and so and that's great. And being a startup, we're still paying a token rate, but paying. And so what's been surprising to me has been the response we've gotten from people that we've sent feedback to. One of the things that we aspired to do when we started out was we wanted to make sure that when we turned you down or we picked you up, we gave you feedback, we told you what our slush readers thought, we you know, this is what we think an audience would think of this particular piece. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten somebody who sent me a thank you note for a rejection that we sent. Because we gave them editorial feedback and we said, okay, we think the story broke down here and here and here. And if you want to work on that for your next submission to Flagship, not rewriting this one, but for the next thing, send it to us and we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, because one of the, we're writers, and one of the things that is unfortunate is, when you get a rejection, people say, you get the form rejection of this wasn't a good fit or whatever, and it doesn't help me grow as a writer.
Right.
And one of the things that we love about pulp fiction, which we kind of are basing our vision on, was they were finding and growing aspiring writers, and that's how we got
That's how we got Asimov. That's how we got
exactly.
So yeah, we want to find, and we have found. They found us. We have published some new writers, and I can tell that those writers have a definite future in the business.
So you're going back to the golden age model of what really worked before.
Yeah, sure. We're doing it to the cheapest format possible. We're putting out a cheap,
just like the pulps.
inexpensive, not cheap, inexpensive
there you go.
Price for the content that we're putting out, and we're experiencing an upswell. I mean, it really is starting to catch on. And this, being at Balticon this year, continuing to get the word out has been phenomenal. We've met some kindred spirits in Channel 37, and it's fantastic.
Well, that's great news. I'd like to ask in part 2 of this interview, I'd like to ask your opinions about the state of upstart publishing today and where you think it's going and where you'd like to steer it. So stay tuned for part 2.